Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Richmond in both the Xfinity Series and in the Cup Series, and we had a bit of another surprise driver in our Xfinity car for this episode. It was Ryan Ellis. He's been driving in the Xfinity Series in the past, then he kind of took a break, and I think he was actually like a PR guy from Matt DiBenedetto if I'm not mistaken, but we put him back in the car there as he went down into turns 1 and turns 2. I wasn't expecting a lot because Richmond in Xfinity is a track that this team has struggled at in the past, so I wasn't expecting him to really have a top 10, top 5 run. I was just hoping that he would be able to click off a solid top 20 for us. Obviously, we got 2 wins this season, and with this team, we have a lock into the playoffs already, so we're not really concerned about much anymore now. As he came to the final lap, though, Ellis running in the 16th position as he went down into turns 3 and turns 4 on the back of the 5 of Michael Annette. As he came into turn 4, Ryan Ellis would come through with a solid result here in the 16th position, so certainly a good result from him, and we'll definitely have him back in the car here for future races this season now, as hopefully we can maybe get a few more playoff points coming up shortly. There's some good tracks coming up, and at the end of the Xfinity race, we had a contact a team option come up, and I decided to choose Ganassi. We're already coming back to Hendrick Motorsports next season. Obviously, we're in line to take over the 48 of Jimmy Johnson once he retires from our NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode now. And as we came to qualifying, coming through turns 3 and turns 4, it wasn't going to be the best lap, as we usually struggle in qualifying at this track, and it shows here as we set a 20.962, and we will start Richmond from the 15th starting position. On the bright side, we're on the inside lane, so hopefully we can move our way forwards here pretty quickly in Richmond.
We're here at Richmond Raceway for the Toyota Owners 400. Tonight, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series makes its first of 2 stops at America's premier short track. Located just outside of Richmond in Henrico County, this 3/4-mile D-shaped oval has just undergone a large infield redevelopment project that brings race fans closer to all the exciting action. Right now, we're ready to get closer to that action ourselves. The green flag is about to fly. It's time to go racing.
All right, we're ready to go green here for the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond Raceway. Clint Boyer, he is on the pole. He won, obviously, recently, and he is locked into the playoffs. Denny Hamlin on the outside front row, and no other notes coming in to this event as we're ready to take the green flag here in Richmond behind our teammate of Chase Elliott. Now as the green flag is out, and we are underway here from the 15th starting position. You will notice my mirror will be off a lot in this race, as it is every time at this racetrack, because when you have the mirror on at Richmond, at least on the Xbox One, the frame rates drop significantly, so you're going to see the mirror off today in this episode for the most part. We will be turning it on here and there just to make sure I can see what's going on around me, and I might be looking behind me a little bit more than usual, but we get past Landon Castle with the 13th spot there as we came out of turn 4. Castle with a great qualifying effort. We might have him in our Xfinity car a few times this season as we go up the inside now of the 20 of Eric Jones, quickly moving up forwards through the field as we come down the back straightaway side by side with our former car from last season as we go up the inside as well of Ryan Newman into turn 3 and turn 4. We would be continuing to ride behind Elliott now as we came through to lap 4 now, sending it up the inside of Kyle Larson, trying to move up into that 10th position as we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway behind the 9 of Elliott. Truex just behind me there as we go up just to about to the inside of Elliott now, and we get hit from behind. The 19 punts me of Truex there as we get big contact with him, and we got into Daniel Suarez as well, and that hurt Truex more than it hurt me, but he just dove into turn 3 and punted me out of the way. We dropped to P13, but we would be able to gain 1 position back and get up to P12 as we came to lap 12, but certainly not sure what Truex's problem was there, but certainly he made it known that he wanted to get into me. He drove right into the back of me and sent me up the track. Certainly could have resulted in an incident, but thankfully we kept the car straight, and I certainly wanted payback on him, but he was nowhere around me at this point as we came through turns 3 and turns 4. Martin Truex, obviously a former rival. We would get up to P10, by the way, by the time we came to 2 laps ago on the stage, but like I said, Martin Truex Jr., a former rival, making it known that maybe he still doesn't really like me here in the Cup Series there, as he was actually just behind Eric Jones as we were approaching the final lap of stage 1 as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4, but certainly looking like me and Truex might be getting a bit of a rivalry get back going if something like that happens again there as we cross the line to take the white flag here in stage 1. Not much has happened since that. that incident there with the 19 of TRUEX, just holding that bottom and hoping that I can come home with a stage point at the end of the stage now, as we have just half a lap to go in stage 1 as we head down into turn 3. The 20 and the 19 lurking behind, but they're not close enough. As we exit turn 4, we're going to come through to still get 1 stage point here in the first stage, so certainly a good result after that incident there with the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr., but I was very happy to bring it back in 10th there as Kevin Harvick, he got the stage victory. He's still looking for win number 1 on the season. Last season, he didn't win all the way till, I think, the playoffs, so he's almost kind of following that trend this season, but we would stay out and get ready to start in P10. Not what I wanted. I was hoping to be on the bottom there as we get ready to go green with Harvick and Elliott on the front row. Daniel Suarez, Jimmy Johnson, both in the top 10. They're close in the playoffs right now as the green flag is out, and stage 2 is underway behind the 1 car of Kurt Busch. You see Truex has some damage behind me, likely from the contact with himself and I after he as well got into the wall after that contact there as we come through turns 1 and turns 2 on the back bumper of the 1, still of Kurt Busch on the outside of the 11 of Denny Hamlin as we go into turn 3. Jones sends it up my inside as Harvick, he's all the way clear and he is driving away as Joey Logano moves up into that second position as we come through to complete the first lap here in the second stage. Now Kyle Larson in the 42 looking to my inside as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. It looks like myself and Larson have certainly cooled off a bit after having our run-ins there as we punted him and spun him out in Texas. Not intentionally, but we still ruined his day. It made it even worse. He was already in trouble and we made it worse for him, and we've kind of let off on him since then there as we come through, crossing the line, hit lap 3 in stage 2, dropping to P12, but we would send it up the inside of Kurt Busch there in the 1 car, and we would be able to get past the 1 car of Kurt Busch and move up into a top 10 position now as we came to lap 7, and now we were looking to the inside of Chase Elliott as we came out of turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, battling side by side with our Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Elliott. He is really the only Hendrick car right now that has been contending with me throughout this season. Bowman, he's been alright. Johnson hasn't been very good there, and as we come through now to lap 14, we had continued to run in that 10th position. At this point, Alex Bowman, he had gotten to my back bumper after he had passed Chase Elliott, and he was lurking behind me. And at this point, it was certainly looking like we don't have race winning speed in this 24 car tonight, but I was hoping that we could still come through with a top 10, which is what we did in stage 1. We got a top 10, 1 stage point in the first stage, and it looks like we might be on track at this point in stage 2 to also get 1 stage point with a 10th place finish as we come into turn 2. Jimmy Johnson, actually the best running Hendrick Motorsports car right now, as we came to 2 laps ago. Johnson's still up there in 9th. It's right now Hendrick Motorsports 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Johnson, myself, Bowman, and Elliott as we come out of turn 2. So certainly Hendrick Motorsports starting to get a little bit of momentum, hopefully here early on in the season before we get to the midway point, and hopefully Johnson can comfortably make the playoffs. Bowman, he has had a lot of trouble early on in the season. He's going to need to turn it around quick now as we cross the line to start the final lap here in the second stage. Still sitting P10, a very, very quiet and calm stage 2, just like the last really half of stage 1 was. So a very calm race here in Richmond after the incident with Truex as we come through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time, coming out of the fourth corner, crossing the line to get P10 in the second stage. And like I said, so far a really calm race. We get 10th in stage 1 and stage 2 there, as you really would expect a little more beating and banging here for short track racing, just like Bristol was. But we would come to pit road and take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, and you would see the result. We would drop 20 positions and drop to P30, which I was really surprised. Usually the AI take 2 tires on a lot of pit stops, but I was really expecting them to take 4 tires on this one. They didn't pit at the end of stage 1, and we still have 48 laps to go, so I was caught off guard by this one quite a bit. So now we have our work cut out for us as we go through turns 1 and turns 2 to start this third and final stage. Jumping up to the top there as we go 3 wide up in front of us between Newman, Chastain, and Cody Ware as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4, thinking about making it 4 wide as we jump up even higher than Cody Ware, and it certainly does not pay off in my favor as we exit the corner, sitting P29 alongside the 17 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2, continuing to utilize the top lane and hope that it works out as we go down the back straightaway, making it 3 wide with Ware and Stenhouse as we go down into turns 3 and turns 4. And I was really trying to get through these cars as quickly as possible, because obviously we're going to lose time here and run out of time to be able to get towards a top 10 position if we can't pass these guys quick enough. There's come through turns 1 and turns 2 on the outside of Watermelon Boy as we go down the back straightaway. We would continue fighting our way forwards. Now as we came to a lap later on lap 56, going to the outside of the 2 of Keselowski and just about to the outside of the 12 of Ryan Blaney as well now as we battle down the back straightaway. Blaney had a solid season last time around, and now he's not even in the playoffs. playoffs right now, so he is certainly having a rough season as it goes, just like Alex Bowman, so he has to turn things around as well. But we would continue working our way up to P21 now, sending it up the inside of Keselowski, who had gotten to the bottom, so he had gotten back past me, but we had ran him back down and passed him for 20th as we were on lap 64 now, as we had a chance to look to the inside as well of Jamie McMurray, and we would do just that as we move into the 19th position as we come out of turn 4. But knowing right now the chances of getting up to a top 10 are certainly not the greatest. I think we have enough speed to do it, but as we came through a few laps later, we would pass the 88 of Alex Bowman as we came through turns 1 and turns 2. And as we came through to another lap later, now on lap 70, we had closed in on the back of Ryan Newman here for P16. As we go down the back straightaway, a chance to maybe send it up the inside of him. He's going a little bit defensive, but I'm going to take advantage anyways and go up the inside of him through turns 3 and turns 4. We would take over P16, we would pass Ty Dillon, and then we would run down the 95 of Matt DiBenedetto. By the time we came to lap 75 in this race there, as you see me now on the back of him exiting turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, trying to take over P14, as we're going to send it up his inside very ambitiously as we enter turns 3 and exit turns 4 now, coming down the front straightaway. We would be able to get the advantage over Matt DiBenedetto. As we went down towards turns 1, we would get past him, and we would actually run down the cars up ahead as Johnson, Logano, and Almirola. You see, they would get way up the field. Johnson had started drifting back, and we had the pace to run down this group of cars, but like I said, the Logano, Almirola, they were working their way through the field. Almirola just up ahead of Johnson there. Logano was certainly showing a good pace, but now we were bringing the cars behind me along there. As you see, Stenhouse, Keselowski, or Ty Dillon still behind me as we go down through turns 1 and turns 2. At this point, we only had 11 laps to go. We had been sitting in P14 for a while now. Absolutely nothing had been going on, and as we came through on lap 91, Johnson, our teammate, looking to the inside now of the 18 car of Kyle Busch as we exit turn 4, coming through the tri-oval, and as we came through another lap later, closing in on the back of the 18 of Kyle Busch as we head down towards turns 1 and turns 2. He's on the back of Almirola, and we're going to set it up the inside now of Kyle Busch and try to take over P13 as we come out of turn 2, heading down the back straightaway as well to the inside of Almirola we go. As we go into turn 3, we would take the P12 from him and set our sights on Jimmy Johnson. But I would really struggle to get past him as we came to just 3 to go. Still behind that 48, and Kyle Busch had been able to get to my inside as we went down into turns 3 and turns 4. So Kyle Busch putting on the pressure, and I was just really starting to really fall off at this point in the race as we came to just 2 laps to go here in Richmond, heading down into turns 1 and turns 2. Now behind the 18 in the 13th position as we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway. Obviously not looking like we're going to get a top 10, and it looks like we're as well going to go green throughout the whole final stage, which I think this would be 3 races in a row possibly of doing that, which rarely happens in NASCAR Heat 3 as we cross the line. The white flag is in the air. Kyle Busch now looking to the inside of the 48 of Johnson as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. We exit turn 2 on the back bumper of the 48, our teammate, as we're going to try and send it up the inside as we go into turn 3 for the final time, side by side with the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. As we exit turn 4, Kyle Busch is going to come through and get 11th, and we edge out Jimmy Johnson for P12 as we cross the line here in Richmond. Like I said, in stage 1 and 2, very calm. The third stage, extremely calm. Nothing happened at all. So it was a very surprising race because you expect stuff to happen at a short track race like Richmond. Unfortunately, nothing really happened, obviously. Chase Elliott, our teammate, gets win number 1 on the season. Daniel Suarez with a 2nd place finish. So a great effort for Daniel Suarez. Obviously, you guys know if you've watched me long enough, Suarez and Larson are my 2 favorite drivers. So I love seeing Suarez run good in the games because I think he certainly does a good job in the 41 car in real life. Gets a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve, but he's starting to run good. He might be a playoff driver this season in our career mode there as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He wasn't very happy with me. Bubba Wallace, I guess, not very happy with me. Half of these I didn't remember. Martin Truex Jr. I remembered, though, and we provoked him for what he did earlier in stage 1. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. Would have loved for this episode to be a little bit longer. One of the shorter ones we've had because, like I said, nothing really happened for once in one of these episodes, so I didn't want you guys to sit through the boring parts. But in the next episode, we will be going to Talladega, so hopefully we can run good there. We usually lack speed, so we'll see what happens. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.